Welcome everyone to the 3-day international virtual workshop on soft skills, research skills, and effective classroom teaching. Jointly organized by Lavender Literary Club India, Cap Common Trust, and Malaysian Industrial Relations and Human Resource Association Malaysia. Today is the first day. Today we have three speakers: Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Parasuraman, Dr. S. Veeramani, Dr. S. Hardeep Singh. And now, let me introduce our first speaker. Professor Dr. Balakrishna Parasuraman is a professor of management, HR, industrial relations at the Faculty of Entrepreneurship and Business, University Malaysia, Kelantan, based in Kota Bharu, Kelantan. He is a member of the International Honor Societies of the International Employment and Labor Relations Association based in Geneva, Switzerland, Malaysian Institute of HRM, and International Employment Relations Association, Sydney, Australia. He received the Global HR Award 2009 from the World HRD Advisory Council. He was adjudged as an outstanding PhD researcher at University of Wollongong, Australia in 2004. A recipient of the Visiting Research Fellow at the Center of Asia Pacific and Social Transformations, Faculty of Commerce, University of Wollongong, and University of Indonesia in 2010. He is a popular choice as an interviewee by TV and radio stations to give opinions on HR-related issue in global or local perspective. We are very glad to have you, sir. Now I hand over this
Uh,
session to you. This session is yours. Welcome, sir.
Gino, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. Yes, sir. We can hear.
Okay. Thanks, Gino. Uh, I'm sorry that I'm outside office now because I have an international HR conference in Kuala Lumpur just over. So that's why I cannot open my video. Anyway, thanks a lot, Gino, and I'd like to welcome as a patron of this international virtual workshop and also webinar that organized jointly by Lavender Little Club, Cap Comorin Trust, and Malaysian Industrial Relation Human Resource Session as I'm the president. And also, I like to say thank you and congratulations to uh, Dr. Ricky as a president of Cap Comorin Trust, and also Dr. Frank Jason, who is the president of Lavender Literature Club India. And also, I like to really congratulate all the speakers, distinguished speakers, and also distinguished participants come from all over India and other countries also. I'm glad to be a part of this workshop, and I believe that these three associations continuously organizing webinar for last 3 years, I think, I believe, since COVID-19 pandemic, and also now we are already in the endemic post-COVID. And as you know that each webinar, I think they have a objective to achieve. So I think I can see that many participants benefit from this webinar. And I also like to say thanks to those teachers. Some of them maybe teach in school or university or whatever capacity as a teacher, even professor, lecturer also teacher. Okay, tonight I just want to share for my past 20, almost 30 years experience. I was a high school teacher. I was a trained teacher actually in the Ministry of Education. Way back about 20 years ago, I was trained in language lah. We call Malay language. In Malaysia, we speak Malay as a national language, like you all speak Hindi in India. So we compulsory to learn Malay. So I specialize in Malay language and also in history education. And of course, my degree is different. My degree more on economics and development. So in order to be teacher, then you need to go through the 1 year program. So that's how I learn about teaching and learning in the classroom. So we are really, they are really trained to be effective teacher in classroom, especially looking at the soft skill. Then later, I joined university. After 3 years, I worked in the school, in secondary school. I teach actually Malay and also English, and then later on I teach about history also. Then when I joined the university, I going back to my degree, yeah, which is I like labor studies and industrial relation, and now of course human resource management. So when I was in the university in 1996 until now, already professor. So I think I have both experience in school and also university. So I can say that I'm qualified to talk about an effective teaching in classroom, and how soft skill and also research skill. That's two. It's very important if you talk about at the university level. Okay, last, in my my expertise actually is on labor relation and also human resource management. So what I do actually, I do a lot of research. When I come to university, I start learning how to write and how to do research, and the research already part of our life when I in the university. In school, no school, we are focusing more on the teaching, effective teaching, to what they call to develop the talent at the school level. And once they are success, like today, most of the students receiving the result for secondary school, like O level lah. Today, the government announced many school leavers, they will complete like O level. We call SPM, okay, CJ Pelajaran Malaysia. That is O level lah. If you look at the Commonwealth countries, then after that they go. So that's all. But when you go to the university, the objective totally different. Our objective is actually to create high order thinking for students, and same time they must have good soft skills. And how to create high order thinking and also how to create a good talent, because university actually a place for us to train these students. I will say that these young officers, I always say young officers, young executive that join first year, when they graduate in the final year, they should get a job. So how they will get a job? Of course, the classroom must be very effective. So most of our style of teaching, we are go back like one way traffic, one way only one way communication. That means the teacher will deliver the lecture, and the student listen, and student go back, and maybe in tutorial you have some discussion. But gone are the days now, and today the thing everything changed. Will come to the IT world, and then now students have their own mobile, lecturer have own mobile phone, laptop, and tab, and Wi-Fi everywhere, Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. In fact, now I'm sitting in the one of the coffee shop in the town, Kuala Lumpur town, very beautiful place. One of the biggest hotel, we call Berjaya Times Square. So of course, next time you all come over here, you will miss this place. It's a very wonderful place, one of the biggest hotel in Kuala Lumpur. So the classroom still can effective anyway. So what I do in my work life experience, so when I do my research, I will immediately share the research in classroom. So some of the syllabus that I propose in the classroom actually basically come from research. So that's why all the academics here, whoever claim to be academic or to be professor, doesn't matter. As long you're a teacher, your role is actually to do research. So research skill very important. How to collect, how to come up with a research proposal, how to write a good research proposal, how to attract the funder to give money, and after that, how to write good papers, how to publish in good journals, how to publish a book, how to disseminate the knowledge to the industry player. All these actually, a lecturer must play an important role as a capacity of lecturer or academics. Okay, not only that, a lot of lecturers, what they do, even I see in this webinar, they come for themselves only. Most lecturers do, they publish papers, books only for themselves, meaning to say that for their own career development, rather than going back to the student to impart our knowledge to the student. So what I did is actually both. Of course, we are working towards our career. Yes, true. At the same time, our research can be translated into the that's what we call scholarship of teaching. That's a terminology that already used many years back. Scholarship of teaching. School is school teaching. Scholarship means is embedded between the content of the syllabus, whatever we're going to teach, and together with the research, finding and so on. So, like me, when I teach uh, industrial relation or labor relation for first year student, of course, I introduce some basic fundamental theories. But the second part of my lecture, I will go to the practical part. So most of the time, I will bring my student to field work, even though they are first year, but I still introduce to the field work, collect some data, just interview one manager, one trade union leaders, and bring them on the life that theory and practice is come hand by hand. So that's one thing. Another thing, I share my research finding in the classroom. So it can be done in different ways. So when you do this, you also actually training the soft skill to student. The student how to organize seminar, how to like this semester, my student is organizing international HR webinar. We're going to bring speakers from Africa, from Asia, from Malaysia, and also key person in the country. Like example, Tan Sri Anwar Ali is a chancellor for. So all these organized by my student within the classroom. This is what my point is like this. You empowered. Example, I can share you later. Maybe I have to organize it. My student developed a poster that supposed developed by outside people, but they themselves developed. And I guided them. I guided in design. So they will come out even much better. And what happened, I saw in my classroom, some student is very quiet. They got talent, but the talent never appeared unless you go and ask them to deliver, to what they call drive their talent into the high capacity as a student. So I don't claim they are actually no skill, no talent. Actually, got talent. So during this kind of webinar they organize, then I share the research finding, and that is a partly mostly done by the student. So when they do this, the soft skill automatically indirectly will improve. So you can see how soft skill embedded. You can't teach soft skill in the classroom. No way. You want to teach about moral values, ethical value. You don't need to, you don't need to teach them like what is a moral. No need. You can teach them, guide them through the way of how you deliver your lecture, how you deliver your tutorial, how you deliver your other method of teaching like forum, seminar. And this is how the soft skill will improve. But for example, this most of the things like happening online, so very difficult for us to to look at their soft skill. But through their work have been done, like I say, giving them tasks to come up with a poster, to arrange speakers, to design the certificate, and all this they can do, even though it's online. And of course, let's say by the end of the class, I will do the farewell party to them. And the farewell party, I participate inside the farewell party. Sometimes when they arrange farewell party, I relate to the best HR practices. How? I said, even in human resource, or even in you work later in real work, you also will organizing a party, company dinner or annual dinner, all this. So I already put in my classroom. So I don't play as professor. I also play as a researcher. I also play as a mentor. I also play as a leader, and different part of play. A game I play in the classroom. So it's a game. We are like you are running like game. Game sometimes very fun. So the classroom must be very fun. So then make yourself like don't bring yourself your perception towards in the classroom. Don't do that. You have to go into their life and understand their life, and then only you start changing their mindset, and that will change soft skill. So teaching them what to do, what it is, but you do things with action, they will learn a lot of things. So you can see classroom now is a totally different in the last 10 or 5 years back. Now the classroom is full of virtual things happen or non-virtual happen. Like my classroom, 7 week is a face-to-face. Another 7 week is a virtual. But we engage, always engage. So, and knowledge that I received, like example, today I came for one of the biggest conference, HR conference, and gathered all the HR. So when I met the HR people, and they're all from the big industry, what I do is I connect. In fact, now I'm actually with one of the PhD student. He is actually a senior manager for labor relations in Standard Chartered Bank, one of the biggest bank in Malaysia or overseas bank. So I'm actually having discussion with him. That is another classroom. See, classroom not necessarily happen in the class physical room. Also can happen in the coffee shop, even in anywhere that we want to have classroom, but must be very effective. So that's how the classroom today. The today classroom totally different. So there are different level classroom for student, for PhD, masters, undergraduate, and diploma, and so on. So you as a lecturer, you have to bring your mindset that you are no more like going like traditional teaching, like one way. Cannot. It might be two-way teaching. Two-way means you encourage them student to do something, and then you comment, and then you bring on the board. Like I always give example like aircraft. So when I am the captain, so I have to give to my first officer to try, and all the passengers is actually my followers. So who going to teach them? Of course, the stewardess, the chief stewardess will guide them. So within the class, we can create a lot of leaders. So I create a lot of leaders in the classroom, and I communicate with leaders. Of course, the changes you cannot have like one day, tomorrow it change. No, it's a process. It'll take long time. Like example, I just shared with you all. I in my university only got one class. I teach one course only, one semester, human resource. But that one class, I put theory and practical. I share my knowledge within 14 weeks. Many students after they graduate, because they are not graduate in human resource, they graduate in logistics, retail, and so on. But immediately after this, they are already go to the HR because they love HR. And then suddenly today, when I'm walking through, one student run to me, and I don't know him because my class so big, maybe 100, 200 students. I don't know him, but he remember my teaching, and he come back to me, Prof. You remember me or not? About 5 years ago, I take the class. I said, I don't know about you. Oh yeah, Prof. You teach me HR. Now I'm working with one of the HR firm lah, solution based firm. Oh, then I say very proud, and he knows your style of teaching. Student will remember. And they will come back to you again. They will come back to you. They will come and tell you, Prof, lecturers or doctors, you've done a lot of things for my life. Today I'm here because of this. In fact, I have my O-levels student, Form 5 student. I don't treat him as a Form 5 means O-level student. They are going to pre-university. And I treat them as adult, adult. And although he's in O-level, I'm giving a lot of tasks to him. He can do nice video, editing video. Today the result come, you got 7 A's, 8 A's. He called me, say thank you, Prof. Balan. So you guide me. You see, I'm not guiding also uni student. I'm also guiding the younger one. And then he was so proud. And one of the big organization already giving him a job, really part-time job to him. He's only O-level. Even he didn't go to university. But because the CEO, one of the union very top union senior union leaders, he called me personally and he said, I want him to help me on some kind of video creating or on the editing part, something like that, or journalist, part-time journalist. So you can see that how you get a job because he follow my instruction and all. So the classroom cannot be like all time. You must go through their life, and slowly you will guide them, you will teach them. You bring their life and totally will change. So my point is this: as a lecturer, not only you usually look after yourself, you just want to be a professor, nothing. You can have all this in your plan, but at the same time, you also put student first in your life because without them, you can't work in the university. Without lecturer, student also cannot graduate. So that's a very important component in the university, teaching and learning. And now the question is how effective the classroom. That's the most important. The classroom is boring. The classroom is very fun. or the classroom is generate the ideas to be high order thinking for students, or create a good morality standard ethically student in the future, that they're going to avoid the corruption, they're going to be a clean from all these mistake, fraud, and they will make. And we have to put them all this earlier in their life. Don't just go with your own self, but you'll bypass. So I'm telling from my experience, to promote yourself to professor, you must do this first. So when you do this, automatically you're also doing other things together. So teaching, learning, publication, consultation, community service, international network, and so on. So very important, very important that while you are in the university or while in the school, you need to do this so that you can see the way forward in your life in the future. So I'm glad lah to see many participants here. They all like very energetic. People are in this room. I respect all of you. You choose the right career to be a lecturer. This is the wonderful career ever I experienced. I'm coming to the end of my career, but I enjoy to all my life because I teach students. I'm very proud to say that this career bring me a lot of lesson to me, to be ask myself, who am I? What I'm supposed to do? What I'm doing now is not only for to getting a higher position, to getting better pay or salary. No, that's not my objective. My objective is to create a talented human for our country. Today, I was talking to the many HR managers all over the country in Kuala Lumpur. They attended this, so I was a panelist. I just tell them, you need to manage the people. God created us to manage the people. You need to train them. You need to train in moral, ethical, so that they will be benefit to our country. So like India is a lot of Indians today, all the big names, you name it, Google, what Pepsi Cola, all come from India actually. You can see them. I got one poster somebody sent to me. All the big names, they are around the world. So you have the best talent in your country. Now, the talent come from the school, actually from classroom. From the classroom, you transfer the talent to the industry, talent to the government agency, talent to the anywhere in the world. And that talent can manipulate it in your country, then you can see the development. Yesterday, I was examining one PhD thesis from China, all right? He talked about strategic management on automobile industry. Amazing. Chinese got more than 100 automobile industry producing cars, lorries, train all over China and all over the world. They are already champion now. Why India cannot do? India got all the big talent like Tata and all the big names there. Why you cannot transform? So fundamentally because of the corruption, because of fraud, because all these actually start from classroom. If you can teach our children in the classroom, don't teach them. Actually put within embedded in the teaching in the classroom. And I think if you can avoid all these, surely India will be superpower in the your location is very good. You are in the east and west. Remember your closest is all these Arabic countries and very close to Europe. You also very close to the Latin America, and your eastern part is China and ASEAN and so on. So your location is very, and above you are looking at the Russia and so on. So the location is very good. You got different kind of weather. You got all the resources. You got everything. Mine, tourism. All you got. Everything you got. What you need actually the talent. That is the part that you need to change. So we as a lecturer, we as a teacher have a big role to play to transform our country through the teaching and learning. And the teaching and learning only can be effective when you share the research that you already conducted or somebody conducted, share in the classroom. And at the same time, the soft skill of students also improve when you're giving them and fully empowered them to conduct certain activities. Actually, I love to come to India. I already dreaming to come to India. I will talk to Dr. Frank. I need to come to India. I like to teach the student there. In fact, I already told Dr. Frank to arrange for me one of the poorest school in India. I'm going to share my knowledge with a free of charge. I don't charge anything. In fact, I want to help the student. I as a professor, I need to give back to society. I told Dr. Frank, please arrange for me. And he said, he promised me he arranged for school apart from the university. I like to I like to see how the environment there. And I like to see you all to come back to Malaysia and we work together. And you also come and see our teaching in the classroom, how we teach. And I got a good contact in university in Kuala Lumpur. So I told Dr. Frank, maybe we do some tour and come and see. In a past, Dr. Dr. Ganesan worked as a lecturer in teaching training college in Ipoh. I think another is friend as principal on a top principal in Kuala Lumpur. So all these actually important. It's a linkages from the baby born until the baby go to the university and graduate and of course contribute back to the country. That is linkages we call in the marketing supply chain. The supply chain in HR is actually come from the one from the kindergarten and the baby born. In fact, the mother start teaching, learning. Actually, classroom start in the womb, not in the physical class. Womb already started. The mother will teach, the father will teach the kids. That's why sometimes the kids come over, you become a very good person. Because the mother always talk about good thing. She was prayerful person. She was talking a good thing about to the baby, and the baby come out and different. Like example, one of my students, he is a Muslim. He's a Malay. Malay. Remember, he's Muslim, and I'm different religion. I'm Indian. But the children, the girl only 5 years old. When she look at me, she really like hug me, jump with me. And the parents so nice. The parents, so they're not very like we call, I mean, they are very nice people, even though different religion, but they are not fanatic. Okay, they are really. So the kids always like to see me. So although color different, everything different, but why the kids love to you? And I carry her like my own baby. So you can see that why, because she want to learn something. She was 5 years old. She want to learn. She called me professor. Every time she know when I met her. So that means the teaching already started in the womb. I think the parents teach love everyone, regardless race or religion. You see, that's why the kids when born, she can easily to mix around. If the parents teach something different, let's say you teach, oh, this is a low caste, high caste, the color different, black color, yellow color, like that. Surely the kids born will be differently. So it started in the womb. After womb, kindergarten until the end of the class. So basically, I think that's what I'm going to share for tonight. Because I want to give room to the other speaker to speak a lot on behalf of the what do you call all the our partners. Once a time, I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Frank Jason, the Lavendry Little Club, India, and also Cap Comrade Trust, Dr. Vijay, and of course Malaysian IR and HR Mirha. And I think Malaysia and India already working. You can see the flag. I'm very proud to see two flags together. But of course, I want to see more physical interaction between India and Malaysia. Maybe we can do some tour. Come to here. You can visit school here. Also visit the university, and also we can go back to India, visit the school, and also we can exchange our ideas and our knowledge, so that we enhance our capability as a good teacher. Finally, my conclusion is become a good teacher, good lecturer, good professor. Always turn to be a good thing come back to you. When we help our children to grow and to become someone, and all the things that we have done for them, it will come back to us in different ways. So that's why I said very important. Your heart must be very clean, noble, and don't have any jealousy in your heart when you are in a working at the university level. Don't have all kind emotional things. So you bring in one unity, one big family. Although we are different countries, I believe we are the one big family in academic world. In fact, today, 2 days ago, from Martha from Colombia, she is She is a president of International Labor and Employment Relation in Colombia and also in Latin America. She keep on message me, call me, Prof. Can you come and share with us your knowledge to our Latin American scholars? In fact, I also I always treat her as my good sister, my mentor, and I also got good sister from Brazil, and she also invite me to be part of the. So we got brothers sisters around the world. Doesn't matter whether we are language different or race different, a country different. But when you're academic in world, we learn each other. And I learned a lot of things from Latin America and how they treat the student. The student there respect teachers very highly. Whereas in Asian countries, we can see the respect. So the respect must come from the teachers first. When the teacher respect the student respect teacher. So we have to be, very important, lah, to have a clear, a genuine heart, lah, so that things will be better for our country. All right. So that's all. Good night. Sorry, I'm not able to, meet you all face to face. Forgive, huh? I'm now in the Starbucks. Maybe I can open the video for a while. You can see at the back. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
The lighting.
Yes, sir.
So I'm
We can
actually
see
having
that.
discussion with my student in the here. So I think I'm very tired. This morning I have another section with the Ministry of Human Resources. Tomorrow morning we meet the Minister of Human Resources, talk about the labor relations. So that's how, I'm busy, but I'm contributing back to the country. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bala, sir, for very motivational and informative session. Dear participants, we are moving to a second session. And our speaker is Dr. S. Veeraman. He's a scholar, research advisor, and a prolific writer. He did his BA, MA, and MPhil in English language and literature in St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. He obtained a PhD degree in postmodernism from Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. His doctoral thesis on postmodernism was well received and appreciated. He has published more than 20 research articles in international indexed with good impact factor journals. He is a member in international professional and academic bodies. He is also one of the editorial board members and reviewers in the international journals of English literature and humanities. He is a columnist in Tamil monthly magazine Sumai Tangi. Besides, he received the Best Research Paper Publisher Award from St. Joseph College Management in 2015. He is a resource person to various colleges to train students in the field of English communication and soft skills. He is a voracious reader. He gained 10 years of teaching experience in his alma mater. At present, he is an assistant professor of English in Arunur Anna Government Arts College, Namakkal. We are very glad to have you, sir, and hand over the session to you. The session is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a very good, warm welcome to me. At this juncture, I have to thank everyone who is participating and the organizers of this wonderful webinar on research methodology as well as the soft skills and so on. Thank you very much. Actually, I would like to make a mention about the soft skills. In a few words, we need to understand what is a soft skill. Today, every company, every what should I say, IT companies, especially IT companies, they need the skills. They divide the skills into two, the hard skills and the soft skills. Coming to talk about the soft skills, we can term into some other term called the life skills, because these skills are very, very important for each and every graduate to acquire or get a very good job in the job market. In every job market, we have the skills. Without the skills, no candidate can be accepted or allowed to work in any industry of various kinds. So here we need to understand, first of all, the thinking pattern of a student. And we, as professors of various subjects, various streams, we need to train the students with the soft skills, especially in thinking pattern. So in the thinking pattern, what is very important is we need to accept, we are, I mean, we have so many philosophers. Like in India, we can have uh, Mr. Gandhiji is a philosopher, Sri Aurobindo is a philosopher, and you find Osho, and another person is still he is recognized as educationist, that is Mr. J. Krishnamurti. And in foreign countries, especially in the European countries, you find Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates, and there are so many philosophers down from the age. But here in India, what I would like to tell you is the philosopher Mr. J. Krishnamurti, what he said in his book called, that is Think on These Things. There is a book called Think on These Things. That book is well thumped by many of readers and lakhs of readers. So that book has in the black wrapper, and I would like to make a mention of the book's reference. Okay, the page number 13, left side, and the paragraph is 3, the line number 2. What he said is, what is an intellectual mind? He asked this question, and he answered the question, that is an intellectual mind which does not accept a conclusion, because conclusion is a place where our mind stops thinking. So this is the very, very important what should I say, the uh, logic, and also what should I say, proposition. It's not that a proposition, but we can call that a proposition. Proposition is something, an idea. That idea is to make, and for the discussion, for the argumentation, and for any other conceptualization. So that's why we need to understand what is a conclusion. Conclusion is a place where our mind stops thinking. This is the first thing we need to understand. Say, for example, in the earlier centuries, the geocentrism was a concept given by Ptolemy. Geocentrism, the earth is the center around the world. Okay, so that it was given by Mr. Ptolemy, and the people everywhere accepted that Ptolemy's ideology, that is the geocentrism, the world is centered by earth and so on. People believed in that way and so on. But after that, who has disproved and who has refuted the statement given by Ptolemy is Mr. Copernicus. He is also a scientist. What he said is, what he proposed to the world and to the scientists exclusively is heliocentrism. Heliocentrism, you know that the helio, which means the sun, okay, a hot sun. The sun is a center around the world. Okay, right now, what people believe and other scientists believe is sun is the center. Nobody has refuted right now. Okay, still there are so many researching activities are taking place to disprove the statements given by various scientists and so on, because nobody has understood properly and nobody has accepted the concept given by the previous writers, scientists, and I mean ideas giver. So that's why still people are doing research on that, on that, on that. So what I tell you is, earlier Ptolemy's idea, that was geocentrism, was refuted by the another scientist, Mr. Copernicus. Now everyone accepts that Copernicus idea, that is heliocentrism, is the final one. I mean, in next century, okay, next century or after 2 centuries, people or any scientist can find out something. There will be any other planet which is new, and that is the planet which is centered around the earth and so on. So it may take place. That's why what I tell you, according to the statement given by Mr. J. Krishnamurti, is an intellectual mind should not accept a conclusion. If you accept a conclusion, you need not to improve further and further. You are not allowed to create something new and new. So this is what I tell you, that the intellectual mind, the first thing I would like to tell you. And another thing is what Newton says, the concept of law, concept of mass, concept of time, space, and everything. He has said exclusively three: concept of space, mass, and time. But these ideas, these concepts in science are refuted by Albert Einstein. Okay, Albert Einstein's ideology called a theory of relativity, and the equation called E is equal to mc squared. So what I tell you, though E is equal to mc squared is a thought experimentation, but still the most of the scientists, they believe only the E is equal to mc squared. But Mr. Albert Einstein disproved and refuted the concept of Newton. Newton, he is a very great scientist. But what I tell you, Newton has proposed concept of mass, time, and space. But Mr. Einstein, Albert Einstein, he has refuted the statements. If Albert Einstein has accepted the concepthood of Newton, there is what would I say? There won't be a development in science. There won't be a development in any other field which depends on scientific value and scientific variables and so on. That's why I tell you, I have given two examples. One is today time is geocentrism and Copernicus heliocentrism. And another thing is we have that the Newton's concept of space, mass, and time, but it was refuted by Copernicus, Albert Einstein's idea, that is the theory of relativity, as well as E is equal to mc squared. But what the point that you need to carry is, don't accept a conclusion. So this is the point you need to impose upon your students in the classroom. Even if you say, as a professor, as an educator, or as an instructor to the students of various kinds, if you are telling, you should not ask the students to accept the concept and the ideology which you are giving, but instead you ask the students to re-study and reinstate and redo the concept. That is the point I would like to tell you. So here, with this, I would like to complete the short introduction about the thinking skills. Okay, that is the thinking pattern. The thinking pattern is very, very important to create something new under the soft skills. Okay, soft skills, it is not defined in any way, or it is not confined in any way. So when you walk, you have a soft skills. When you teach, you have soft skills. When you speak with your professor, when you speak with your colleagues, you have soft skills. When you give and take and everything, you have a soft skills. Okay, so it is not to be defined, it is not to be confined in only one aspect of understanding, in one aspect of terminology. Okay, so this is the point I would like to tell you. Then I straight away, I would like to step into the important point that I would like to talk about, the interview techniques. I have taken my points from these books. Okay, boost your interview IQ and top-notch interviews, and your higher interview, and you find that the complete question and answer, okay, question and answer, job interview book, and recruiter, another book is Recruiter. And then these books I have used to take much more points to what should I say? Say a few things about the interview and its techniques. Why interview? Say, first of all, you need to tell the students why the interview takes place. It is to hire the person. Okay. Nowadays, in the corporate culture, in the job market, what should I say? When a student has a great many skills, only then he is hired. This is the what should I say, the tendency which takes place. We are experiencing, as well as our students are also experiencing the same scenario in the 21st century. Okay, that's why you must say, and you must train the students with the interview skills. Why we are hired? Okay, provide a job. It is to provide a job. It is to sell yourself in the sense your skills, your knowledge. Okay, mostly the interviewer will be the HR person. HR, I mean human resource development person, or the person who has completed his masters in HR, or manager, or the owner of the company will conduct an interview. Okay, and sometimes they will ask so many questions. There I mean various kinds of interviews. Like I'll talk about all these things in the due course of my presentation. Okay, what's the purpose? So whether you are eligible to do work, or to present your knowledge, or to use your knowledge in the objective of your company, in the product of the company. So this is the thing you must understand. Okay, and then second thing is the major questions you need to cover before the interview, before attending the interview. So can you do the job? First of all, you must understand. You need to train the students, as well as you need to present these points among the students. Okay, only then they are aware of the interview techniques and how the interview process is being taken place in the industries, in the IT companies, or ITES. Okay, and I mean software enabled companies and so on, information technology enabled companies and so on. So here we need to understand the skills, attributes, knowledge, experience, and understanding of the job. First of all, we need to understand. The another point is, will you do the job? So this is a very big question. So in this question, you need to have enthusiasm and the commitment, which means the passion. Whatever you do is I mean, whatever you do, you should have a passion. If you want to drive, you have a passion over it. If you want to teach, you should have a passion over it. If you want to, even if you want to serve in the hotel, you need to have a passion, and you need to attract the what should I say, customers according to your behavior and attitudes and so on, so that the customers will come to the what should I say, your shop, or any hotel, or any place where you are working, because of your behavior, because of your attitude, because of your what should I say, the soft skill that you have. Okay, so this is the point. Will you do the job? You must have the enthusiasm and commitment and loyalty. You should be a loyal. See, it's very, very important soft skill. See, I tell you again and again, I mean, in the beginning itself, I told you that the soft skill cannot be defined. Soft skill cannot be confined into one capsule. Okay, enthusiasm is also a kind of soft skill, and commitment is also a kind of soft skill, and loyalty is also a kind of a soft skill. But we say that the interview technique, and writing a resume, and what should I say, the way you walk in the interview, the way you take the class, and these are all called soft skills. Say, for example, if you attend a group discussion, this is the soft skill. People think in that way. That means they have confined the soft skills into a capsule form. But what I tell you is everywhere you find soft skills. That's why I tell you a soft skill is an ubiquitous, which means it is prevalent everywhere. Okay, it is a prevalent everywhere. Loyalty is very important. When you work in a company, you need to um, be a very loyal to your manager, to your master, to your owner, so and other higher authorities. Only then you can survive, only then you will be rewarded something. So that's why loyalty is also kind of a soft skill. Okay, and then will you fit in? Will you fit in? There is a question, will you fit in? You can ask the same question in yourself. That is personality. The personality, you find that how you are. Personality, which doesn't mean that the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you what should I say, the color you use in your dressing sense and so on. Personality is something psychological factor. Okay, psychological factor in the sense you should not get anger. Okay, you should not get anger. You need to accept some kind of what should I say, problems in yourself, and there will be a tolerance. Okay, the tolerance is a highly important factor in the personality factor. Okay, and then attitude, approach, the way you do things, the way you receive things, the way you scatter things. Okay, and these things are there. And then a good fit with the company ethos and values. So we need to understand the values of a company. But some people, they the freshers, still I find some freshers, they go to job and they ask, what is the company and how do I have to work here, and what is my what should I say, the responsibility, what is my role to play in the company. All these things they will question from one person to another person, from manager to the last one, like that. But it looks like an awkward. But when you get involved in a company or a industry, you need to understand the values of the company in the beginning itself. So you need to tell these things to the students first of all, because if you want to know the values and the ethos of the company, just we can get to the website and we can browse through the website, and then we will find the values and the turnover, and who has started this company, and the year of inception, and the collaboration. All these things you can understand, and then only you can know the values. Because if you understand, if you know the values of the company, very easily you can tackle with the interviews question and interviewers attitude and so on. So people, they find very difficult to complete these things. That's why they are unable to get a very good job in the job market in the 21st century. So that's why I request all the educators and all the what should I say, professors, to train the students with these kinds of values and these kinds of things under the caption called soft skills and so on. And then the preparation before interview, and you must know, you must understand the vision and mission statement of the company and so on. And after that, about the product and whether they provide, they produce the edible product and non-edible product, and which is used by the women or men or children, and all these things you must understand before the interview, when you go to a job interview and so on. And then marketing and manufacturing and education, and proper address of the organization, because a company may shift from a place to another place, but on the website it is not been updated. But if you say that the the company's wrong address, they will ask the question, could you please tell me the company's address? But if you say that this is the address and so on, the wrong address if you give, definitely you will have a very, very bad impression about your answer. That's why I tell you that you need to understand the address of the organization and the annual turnover of the company and the short history of the organization. So in every company, they have their own website. On the website, everything is displayed, and you need to read, and you need to get through the company's short history about the organization and so on. And if the company has received a prestigious award or recognition by government or any other organization, that will be displayed on the website, and you need to highlight that particular award and so on in the interview. That's why the interviewers will get inspired by your answering the questions. Then the registration details, whether the company is registered under the Societies Act or Trust Act or any other, what should I say, organization or ministry of the particular ministry and so on. So the types of workers and the employers and social responsibility. Now we have a CSR, corporate social responsibility. And what is the corporate social responsibility? And what is the share of the company towards the society? And all these things you need to understand. That's why again, you have a social responsibility through the interview as well as in the society and so on. So then website and email, and prepare your CV. And I have a 3 or more copies, and people have only one copy they will produce before the interview, and then they will not have their own copies. That's why I tell you that you need to I need to take at least 3 or more copies of your resume. Yeah, that's a very important thing. And then bring relevant certificates. So for a particular for a particular job, if you are asked to work in the skill oriented, the hard skill oriented, say for example, if you are going to be hired as a driver, you need to give and produce the license first of all, and where you have taken the license, and all these details you must understand, know, and you need to produce the certificates and so on. But unnecessary certificates can lead to misunderstanding about your skill and ability. That's why this is the thing. And then bring a call letter. Okay, then every company, they will have an interview process, mostly 3-step procedure. The first one is a phone calling. Phone calling, they will call you over the phone, and they will interview. Sometimes if the what should I say, if the if the interviewer is satisfied with your talking and your skills over the phone, you are hired. Sometimes you are asked to come in person. So in person, you can do the interview. I mean, you can get involved in the interview, and they will conduct the interview. And then the second round in-person interview also takes place, because many people have turned. They need to cut short the interview and the number of the candidates. So that's why they have a second phase of interview, second round. I mean, okay, and then the traditional interviews. We have a traditional interview, that means one-on-one with the hiring manager, one-on-one. So you can get to the manager's room, and he will ask a question, and you will answer the questions. That's why the interview takes place. If your answer is satisfactory, the manager can hire you immediately. This is the traditional interview. So the second thing is a peer interview. Peer interview, which means that the co-workers can be utilized to take the interview with yourself. Okay, because they know how the person is. Because when we deal with the co-worker, we express our feelings freely, without any hesitation. We express our feeling. Okay, they will understand who you are and what kind of person you are. So this is the thing. And another thing is the case interview. You find that in the case interview, the challenges are given, the problem is given, and how you are going to do the problem, like crisis management. Okay, crisis management and time management, and all these things are involved in this case interview and so on. And then the behavioral interview, we have that three general types of the behavioral interview. The first one is open-ended question. You find that the problem is needed to be solved. The description is given. A description is given, and then you are asked to solve this particular problem, and how you are going to solve the problem according to your the lateral thinking. Mr. Edward de Bono is called the father of lateral thinking. So how you are going to give a solution to a problem, and how you are going to solve and resolve the problem, and so on. So this is the open-ended questions. And another stage under this behavioral interview is a close-ended question. It requires that is yes or no, that's all. Okay. And then why questions, why you are asking, what is the reason, and all these things are there. And then there will be a method called a star. Star, that means situation. A situation is given. Describe a situation you experienced at work. It is a question. Okay, you need to describe. When you keep on describing the situation, they will come to know that whether you are capable and whether you are an eligible person to work in a company, or whether you are fit in the job, and so on. So that's why the situation is there, and the task. So you are given a task, the challenges of the situation, and what was your task, and what did you need to do, and what are the things that you need to solve the task, and so on. So that's the thing. And next thing is action. Describe your action, and everything is given. And then result. What was the outcome of your action? So this is the STAR method. So in the STAR method, if you what should I say, prepare your knowledge, in the company's situation, the company's product, and so on, automatically your 80% of your success is determined, because if you go by the STAR method. And another thing is group interviews. Okay, then group interviews, you find that in a group the people are getting involved, and they will ask so many questions, and then you will understand the questions, how you are going to answer questions by the many people, okay, by many interviewers. So this is what we call group interviews. And panel interviews. Under this panel interview, we have that in front of a panelist. Okay, the panel consists of 5 or 6 members, including HR or a manager, or else the expert or the skilled person in the panel. So they will question you, and how you are going to answer to the questions raised by the panelists. Okay, and then lunch and dinner interviews. Still it takes place. Nowadays, many what should I say, the IT companies and industries, they have dinner interviews or lunch interviews. They will call you for lunch or a dinner, and they will ask you to have lunch or dinner, and then they will question. So it's a kind of breaking the traditionalities. Okay, because when you have lunch or dinner, your real what should I say, face is revealed. Your real behavior is revealed. How you are going to eat, and how you are going to speak. Whether you are normal, or you are what should I say, something if you are doing something unusual or abnormal. Okay, and all these things will be displayed in the lunch or dinner interviews across the table. Okay, and video interviews, that video interviews. Yeah, and then stress interviews. It is very, very important here, the stress interview nowadays. It is what should I say, yeah, work may be stressful. So whether you are fitting to the particular job or not, that's why they have the stress interviews. And the walk-in interview, find that walk-in interview, they will on the spot, they will ask question. You are not going to apply anything, just you can carry your resume, and then you can attend the interview. This is what we call that the walk-in interview, and these things are there. And skills needed, hard skills and soft skills. Under the hard skills, we have a practical abilities and driving and using a computer, and you need to at least you need to type in the MS Word, MS Office. That's why it is termed as office. In an office, these packages are used: MS Word, Excel, Point, okay, PowerPoint, and these are very basic things under the MS Office. So whether you are able to what should I say, operate a computer or a laptop and so on, and most of these will be measurable. All these hard skills will be measurable, okay, but whereas the soft skills will, I mean, may not be measurable, okay, because it is to be understandable, and it is to be what should I say, realizable. Okay, that's why we can say that the hard skills are measurable. Okay, so sometimes, say for example, it is very essential in today's scenario is you need to have a driving. For every person need to have a driving. So this is nowadays a very important skill. Okay, you ask the students to go for a driving, and they must drive a car. Okay, so it is a very essential skill. So sometimes in a near future, you find that whether you know driving or not, like the known languages, now we have that English, Hindi, Tamil, and Japanese and French. We can say that these are all the languages we know, and we are able to write and speak like that. Another column will be given, that is a compulsory, that is whether are you able to drive. In that column, you say that yes or no. If you say that yes, you will be called for the interview, not for the what should I say, given the job, but for the interview. Okay, so that's the thing. And then behavior, under the soft skills, behavior and interpersonal skills are there. So behavior, everything is under the term called behavior. Behavior is a term. Under the behavior, we have what should I say, language as well as the decorum. Under the behavior, we have language and decorum. The decorum in which you behave, how you behave, but the language, how you use the language, whether you are using the colloquial language or stressful language or negative words or negative statements and so on. I could find many students in my class, they use only negative words. Simply they use no sir, not sir, nothing sir, he only sir, she only sir, like that. See, they are not able to accept their what should I say, how they are, and how they will be. So we need to train the students first of all with having these soft skills like behavioral skills and interpersonal skills and so on. And then intelligence is supported. There are 8 intelligences. We have that multiple intelligences. Under this multiple intelligences, we have linguistic, a good language you can have, a good language which will help you to get the job. Okay, and logical, whether you are using the logic to solve the problem or not. Illogically, if you say that this is what that is what that, no, nothing is what should I say, predictable. Okay, productive. That's why I tell you that's the logic. And the visual or spatial, visual and the spatial, you are able to imagine. Okay, you are able to imagine the problem, or then you can use the logic, and then you use your in linguistic concept and so on. And musical skill, okay, the intelligence. Today's music is very important. If you are not able to understand, and if you are not able to listen to the music, and you find that something is taking place in your brain, that's why musical knowledge and musical intelligence is very important. And the physical, that dance, run and play and sports and everything is under this physical intelligence. Then interpersonal, get on with the others, how your relationship is with the others and so on. And then we have that naturalist. You are whether you are giving importance to nature, are you destroying nature, or are you concerning about the nature? All these things are measured. That's why I tell you that the intelligences, the 8 intelligences are very, very important in your intelligence, I mean, in your job market. Okay. And then, yeah, we have so many types of resume. In the resume, please don't go in for that, the already given the template. Okay, if you use that template, it shows that you are, what should I say, lazy fellow. So yeah, each and everything is measurable in the interview. Okay, in the interview, that's why, because it is a world which consists of so many competitions. So we need to understand, we need to tell your students and so on. So with this, before that, I would like to tell you a table of words which can be used in the writing resume, like accomplished, founded, reduced, and implemented, improved, and advanced, created, developed, qualified, undertook, and streamlined. You find only the positive words, and these active vocabularies can be used in your resume to send the interviewer as well as the job giver. Okay, so with this, I complete my today's session. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to share a few things about the job interviews and so on. So if you have any doubts, please let me know. Yes, sir. Sir, are you there? Sir?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. With this, I complete my today's session, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir, for very informative talk. Dear participants, we are moving to the third session, and our speaker is Dr. Hardeep Singh. Dr. Hardeep Singh is a senior academician, researcher, author, orator, mentor, motivational speaker, and life coach. He is having 20 years of total experience. He is a life member of various international bodies like IAERC, IAS Society, IADRC, IFRS, TA, and ISTD. He has been honored as a patron member by World Academic Industry Research Collaboration Organization for the period of lifetime. His profile has been published in World Book of Researches 2018 at Oxford, United Kingdom. He has been esteemed to address various conferences as keynote speaker. To his credit go 41 international conferences, 36 national conferences, 11 UGC seminars, and 100 plus webinars, workshops, FTPs, and EDPs. 20 plus awards, 30 plus professional membership, 4 books, and 5 anthology books. He has presented 100 plus research papers or articles. He has published 100 plus research papers and articles in conference proceedings and journals of national, international frame under tag of publishers of well-reputed like Elsevier, Scopus, IEE, and Springer, etc. He has guided 100 plus projects to the students of BTech and MBA. He has also guided MTech and PhD candidates for writing a publication of research papers. His latest book, co-authored by Professor J.S. Jogi and Dr. B.P. Godari, a well-known scientist and educationalist, named a written and oral technical communication skills for engineers and scientists, is available in 8 foreign languages. We are very glad to have you, sir. I hand over this session to you. The session is yours. Please begin.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I think I am audible. So, due to poor network. I will not be able to switch on my camera. So, starting today's session, dear participants, good evening. Today, first of all, I would like to pay my sincere regards to Dr. Frank Josen and the organizers of this 3 days international workshop on soft skills, research skills, and effective classroom teaching. A very wonderful theme and very required theme. So, dear participants, I will talk on research skills. We all know that research is very much required nowadays for the, you can say, sustainable development of the nation and even the development of the human being also. Sustainable development. We all know. I would like to thank our, you can say, Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, mm, who has implemented this new education policy and in which research has become mandatory and even at our school level. Thanks to our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, I will like to start my talk. Firstly, talking what is the research? We all know what is the research. Research is a combination of two words, re and search. It is defined as the creation of new knowledge or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. This could include synthesis and analysis of previous research to the extent that it leads to new and creative outcomes. There are two words, research and innovation. Research and innovation both play an essential role in triggering smart and sustainable growth. I have already talked that research is a systematic investigation of a problem that works to extend knowledge, and innovation is a process followed to obtain something new. Research is done on the knowledge that is already existing and we again search that thing, that is research. And innovation is followed to obtain something new. That research typically follows a line of thought, and innovation solves a specific problem and it can be utilized. Innovation is a jump from or an addition to a line of thinking. I mean, creating something new with an additional function, that is innovation. And research is, you can say, studying or critically analyzing the existing knowledge that is available with us. That is research. Now, ethics is very important part of research, very important research skill, that is research ethics. Firstly, I would talk ethics. Ethics are the norms of conduct that distinguish between acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Simply speaking, ethics tell us what is right and what is wrong, what should be done, what should not be done. That is called ethics. Ethics play a very important role in our social life, in our family life, in our business life, and in our research life. In business, we say it business ethics. In social, we say it, you can say social ethics, professional ethics, research ethics, and ethics plays a very important role in our life. It may be any phase of our life. Coming to the research ethic is a very important research skill that should be taken care of while doing the research. Research ethics involves the application of fundamental ethical principles to a variety of topics involving scientific research. Research ethics educates and monitors a researcher conducting a research to ensure a high ethical standards. Next coming, what is important of research ethics? Why do we need research ethics? Research ethics is a sign of respect for other researchers and causes no harm to the participants, to the colleagues, or the other researchers, and not even to the society. It is a professional requirement. It is a requirement to obtain funding. Funding is given by many agencies. It may be government agencies, it may be NGOs, or it may be private agencies, like UGC, University Grants Commission, then DST, Department of Science and Technology, DRDO, and many other organizations that give funding to the research projects. And if you have not made that search proposal, you can say using research ethics, by following the research ethics, your project or your proposal will get rejected and you will not get the funding. So research ethics is a requirement to obtain the funding, and failing to conduct research ethically results in research or researcher being dismissed or rejected by the researcher community. So research ethic is very much, you can say, required, very much mandatory, and very important research skill to be gained, to be followed. So coming to the basic principles of research ethics, first principle is honesty. We all know, we all have been studying it from the primary standard, that honesty is the best policy. So honesty is very much required while doing the research. There should be objectivity. Objective should be there of your research. Then integrity. Integrity means being honest when nobody is watching you, nobody is seeing you, nobody is monitoring you. Then even then doing everything honestly, that is integrity. Then carefulness, openness, respect for intellectual property, confidentiality, respect for colleagues, non-discrimination, and social responsibility. Social responsibility is again, you can say, very much important, that society is important part of our, you can say, life, or our, so we should be socially responsible while doing our research, and it is very important part of our, you can say, research ethics and research skills. Then important areas in research. What are the important areas that should be taken care of while following the research ethics? First is authorship, then plagiarism, peer review, research with animals, and research with human subjects, and research misconduct. Firstly, talking what is authorship. Research evolves from collaboration and assistance between experts and colleagues. Authorship is a process of deciding about on who names their research paper belongs. When we write a research paper, when we write a research thesis, when we write a dissertation, there is a person who is doing the research and who is writing that project or research paper. He is called a author. Authorship is reserved for persons who receive primary credit and hold primary responsibility for a published work. It decides which colleagues should be listed as authors or co-authors. Author is the person who is the main person in the research paper, or in the, you can say, research project, in the dissertation, and co-author is the person who is assisting that person, who is not the main author, but he is assisting the author in doing that research, in writing that research paper, or in doing that research, you can say, dissertation. There are many types of authors. One is, you can say, main author or corresponding author, who is the mainly responsible for that research project or that research paper. Then guest author. The author hasn't contributed to the research or writing, by his or her credential can increase the credibility of the published work. Guest authorship happens when influential individuals lend their name to a study to boost its credibility. However, these people weren't involved in the actual research. The most common unethical practice is to include the name of the PhD advisor or department has as an author who has not done any, you can say, a work in that research project. So guest author is a person who enters in that research paper or enters in that research dissertation as a guest, but he hasn't done anything in that research work, in that research dissertation. That is called guest author, and guest author is not a, you can say, legal practice. It is illegal practice, and it is, you can say, against the research ethics. Then gift authorship, the author may have an association with the research or the manuscript. In this practice, an author is added to a paper when they have not actually made a contribution to the work, perhaps to reward a collaborator, return a favor, or for some other gain. The most common unethical practices to include the, you can say, department head, the director of the organization, the principal of the organization, or any other person whom you want to, you can say, please him, or you want to return his favor or some other gain. You are doing that thing, that is gift authorship, and it is again, you can say, against the you can say that research ethics. It is against the research skills. Then ghost author, we all know what is, who is ghost, that who we cannot say, we cannot see, we talk that person as a ghost. Ghost authorship occurs when someone that participated actively in the research is not disclosed in the author's byline or acknowledgement section. This person can be a research unrelated professional that helped the main author to draft and edit the manuscript. Ghost author is that person who has participated in the research work, in the research paper, or in the research dissertation, but his name is nowhere mentioned. Maybe the person who is the main author, he has, you can say, given some money, he has rented that person, hired that person to write his research paper or the research dissertation, and he has given him the payment, and his role is over, and he has mentioned his own name, that I am the main author, I have done the research work, I have written the research paper, I am the, you can say, researcher. But it is again against the research ethics. Ghost authorship should not be practiced. The main author who is responsible for the research work, he should have done the all the work. Ghost authorship is also against the research ethics, and we should not practice that thing. Next coming, quoting. When using a word to word text from any source, use quotation marks for the extract and cite the source, and for longer extracts, some style guides are recommended using block quotes. Now, coming to the very important part of the, you can say, research work, research project, or the research paper, plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Plagiarism is the act of stealing someone else's work and attempting it to pass it off as your own. We have seen that there are many students in the examination hall who have not prepared for their exam, but they do their exam, write their exam by cheating, or by, you can say, copying from any other matter, and they present their question paper answer sheet as their own, and that is evaluated, and they get the result. Similarly, plagiarism is same thing, that when we copy the matter from others research work and present it as your own research paper or your own research project, that is called plagiarism. And plagiarism is a crime. You should know that it is punishable offense, and plagiarism includes copying text, ideas, images, or data from any other source, even from your own publication. That is called self plagiarism, without giving credit to its original source. And if plagiarism is detected during the peer review process, your manuscript, you can say your the research paper, your research dissertation, that gets rejected. And if it is a research proposal for the grant, you will not be given the grant, and your research proposal will be, you can say, rejected. Plagiarism may be of many types: complete plagiarism, then direct plagiarism, self or auto plagiarism, that I have already talked with you, that copying the matter from your own publication, that is auto plagiarism or self plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, inaccurate plagiarism, accidental plagiarism, and source based plagiarism. Complete plagiarism is the most severe form of plagiarism, where a researcher takes a manuscript or study that someone else has created and submits it under his or her name. It is equivalent to intellectual theft and stealing. Then partial plagiarism. The second form is partial plagiarism. This is when a person takes work from a multiple amount of authors and just paraphrases the text from those authors without doing the actual research. That is called partial plagiarism. Then direct plagiarism is word to word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution and without quotation marks. Self plagiarism, I already talked, it is defined as the type of plagiarism in which the writer republishes a work in its entity or reuses portions of previously written text while authoring a new work. Then inaccurate plagiarism. Inaccurate authorship or misleading attribution can happen in two ways. In one form, when an individual contributes to a manuscript but does not get credit for it. The second form is opposite, when an individual gets credit without contributing to the work. This is just related to like guest authorship that I have talked, gift authorship, all these is involved in their inaccurate plagiarism. Then accidental plagiarism. Accident, we all know that what is accident, that happens suddenly. We don't know about that it is to happen. Similarly, accidental plagiarism, or we also say it unintentional plagiarism, that occurs when a writer fails to follow scholarly procedures and accidentally copies parts of work that have already been composed. And there is no excuse that the researcher or the scholar or the author says that I have done this accidentally. I didn't know, I haven't done it intentionally. But even then, accidental plagiarism is also a crime and it is a punishable act. We should avoid it. And source based plagiarism, very important part. This type of plagiarism refers to instances when misleading sources are involved. For example, the writer may have two sources of information but only reference one. Another form of source based plagiarism would be when an author quotes a non existent or incorrect source of, you can say, from where the matter has been taken. So these are the types of plagiarism that I have talked with you, and I have already told that plagiarism is not acceptable. We should not, you can say, practice plagiarism. And uh, that IT is very smart. The many tools, many applications have been developed to check the plagiarism, that have been used by many universities, many authorities, and even the, you can say, journals for the publication purpose. And your plagiarism is, it can be detected even word to word and line to line. Everything can be detected from where you have taken. So we should not practice plagiarism. The most authentic and most reliable application used for checking the plagiarism, that is Turnitin, that tells you everything, that how much plagiarism is there, how much percentage of the word is your own. Everything is told. So the dissertation, the research paper, the research proposal that you are submitting, that should be, you can say, plagiarism free. There should not be any copy paste matter. So coming to the point, that avoiding plagiarism, how can we avoid plagiarism? First is simply be honest. The very you can say simple way to avoid plagiarism: be honest, give credit where it is due, acknowledge the author of the original work that you have used, and use your own work as often as possible. Create your own magic. You can say create your own data, use your own tools, use your own questionnaire, everything, and there will be no chance of this plagiarism. And your, you can say, research work, your search paper, your dissertation, that will be plagiarism free. And lastly, quote or cite the sources properly. There are then ethical guidelines for research, innovation and publication. Educate yourself. You should be, you should know everything that I have told about you, this plagiarism, quoting, references, everything. You should be aware about this. You should be educated about this thing. Educate yourself, make a thorough research, create your own magic, then learn rules for citation and references, paraphrase the text, check your work, recheck your work, cite your source, include the quotations, present your own ideas, use plagiarism checker before submitting your research paper or research thesis. I have already told there are many applications or tools that can be used to check the plagiarism. It is better you check that plagiarism before submitting your research paper or research proposal, so that the authorities may not find any plagiarism. If any plagiarism is found when you are checked your search proposal or that dissertation, you can clear that plagiarism and submit the proposal or that dissertation that is plagiarism free. Double check your work, put all the direct quotes in quotation marks, and when there is a doubt in anything, you give a citation. So all this was today about the research skills that I have talked about. That the very important part of these research skills is, that is research ethics, that we all need to follow, and we all should follow, whether we are a research scholar, we are an academician, or we are a student, or we are a preparing a, you can say, lesson teaching plan for our students, teaching notes for our students, assignments for our students. We should follow these research ethics. Today our prime minister, he has made mandatory the research skills for the students, even for the teachers. So, using the teaching plans or making the teaching material using this research methodologies and research methodology, you should be aware that plagiarism should not be anywhere, and you should follow the research ethics. That is very much important for every research scholar and every academician. So, by this, I end my talk. Any question from any participant, you are open to ask the question. I am here to answer your queries. Thanks. I would like to once thank all the organizers of this international workshop for inviting me as a resource person to talk on my topic, this research skills. Thanks once again.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Oh, sir, very good afternoon. I am Dr. P. Rajendran from KSR Arts and Science College, Chittungodu. Your wonderful talk is very much, but I have one doubt, Professor. How to find out the plagiarism in writing of articles?
Sir, I have already told that there are many tools or application available. There are many paid applications and some free applications also. You can check the article using that plagiarism checker. It may be Turnitin, it may be Authenticate, or many other applications or tools are also available to check the plagiarism. Or it may be article, it may be dissertation, or it may be research paper. Anything you can even check your book that you have written a book. It may be textbook using that plagiarism checker.
Just 1 minute, Professor. Already I sent my name also. My name also giving the plagiarism in some journal publishers.
Yes. Sir, when you enter that research paper for the in the plagiarism checker to check the plagiarism, do not enter your name or your affiliation, because if you are affiliated to Jawaharlal Nehru University, there may be many people who will be writing paper with the name of Jawaharlal Nehru University. You need not to enter the your affiliation, your name, or the references while checking the plagiarism.
Oh, okay.
Do not
Okay,
add that.
Professor.
Yes.
Okay, Professor. Thank you. But the review is going on nearly 1 year.
Yes. Okay. Right.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for organizing committee, Professor.
Thank you.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask. Any other questions?
Good evening, Professor. My name is Sanjay Kalita from Assam Don Bosco University.
Okay.
I just want to ask about this plagiarism situation. I'm from mathematics department. So whenever we check for this mathematical paper for plagiarism,
Yes.
there's some situation it occurs that the symbol, mathematical symbols, so mostly some are common symbols are there. Many common
Yes.
symbols are there. Those
Yes.
are also they considered within the plagiarism range. So how to say come out of this problem?
Sir,
Like summation
yes.
symbol, if I am using someone else is also using the summation symbol, then that is also shown in as a plagiarism sometimes.
Okay. You are doing PhD.
No, I have already completed that one.
Okay, right. So, sir, if you go to any journal for publication or anywhere, up to 20% of plagiarism, that is, you can say, not considered. 20% is relaxed. If it goes above 20%, then it comes under plagiarism. So 20% plagiarism is not considered under plagiarism. There is a relaxation up to 20%. In some journals, that is 15%, and in some journals, it is 20%.
Yeah, but my question is actually like this.
Sir, I have got your question that there are some symbols that come under plagiarism. So you can say check the other text. That symbols, I don't think that if that the plagiarism consider that symbols and it comes above 20%, I don't consider, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.